Is it your sense, Governor, that you're tired of the entitlement society and you're calling them on it? Is that the idea, that, or are you just sick of trying to mamby-pamby around the issue?
No, well, it's a little bit of both. I think we have 1 in 3 citizens of the state of Maine is on welfare, some form of welfare. And secondly, I lived it. I mean, I grew up through the system, and I understand how it works. And we are an entitlement state, and it's time that they recognize that we're in debt. We don't have the money any longer, and they got to get a job.
All right, but that got the wrath of the NAACP, saying that you were being unfair, even callous. You replied this way.
Why would they complain? We're 99.8% white.
So when you hear that from groups, in other words, those in the mainstream media are sympathetic to those groups, and they try to characterize you as heartless and clueless, what do you say?
I say if they walk in my, until they walk in my shoes, they have nothing to say. I've been in the system. I've been on welfare. I worked my way through. It can be done. You just want to you just want to do it. If you don't want to do it, then you stay right on the couch and you eat your popcorn and you get obese, and we pay for you.
What if you're working and you're still eating your popcorn? No, that's a whole separate issue. But, Governor, do you see...
You know, I'll be there to help if you can't feed the kids.
But do you get a sense, Governor, that maybe what happened in France and what's going on in Greece, and a lot of people talk about voters rejecting austerity when, in fact, the measures were not all that austere. And that's coming here, and politicians are seizing on that as a message. Voters really don't want to cut back, and the appetite for doing the kind of things you talk about really isn't there. What do you say?
Well, you know, that might be true, and we know at the federal level that we're broke, and the state is nearly broke, so at some point it's going to have to sink in, because when you're out of money, you're out of money. And in the world I've been brought up in, is cash is king. When you run out, you starve.
So when your residents talk about what you want to do, in other words, that even the state entitlements, to which many of them have become, you know, you're kind of used to that, and you say that, look, we got to rein this in, what kind of reaction do you get?
Everybody agrees with you until you affect them personally.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter here in our state, we have the worst problem with overprescription of drugs. We have a severe drug problem with our youth. Those aren't our kids, those aren't elderly, and those are not disabled. But, you know, they're not working. So we need to do the best we can to encourage them to become self-sufficient, get a job. You know, I'm right there with the Department of Labor working to try to give them the training and the skills they need to hold down a good job. We have many jobs that are they're going unfilled because we can't find skilled laborers. So it's not a matter that we're not there working with them and trying to get them a job. It's a matter of having the desire to want a job.
What do you think of President Obama?
Don't think about him at all.
What do you think? That he wants to increase spending, Governor.
I know, but that's the Obama way. I have a state that we're out of money, and I'm trying to get people to contribute to society, not take away from society. You know, the days of John F. Kennedy should be brought back. That's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And once we get back to that, we will become a #1 world superpower again.
How do Republicans then counter the image, Governor, that they're the party of no? They're the party of saying you can't have this, you can't have that. We're going to rein in Medicare. We're going to rein in Social Security. What do they do? How would you advise them?
I advise them. It's not I'm not a person of no. I'm a person of yes. You want a job? Let me help you find one. That's what I tell them. And I'll tell you, I come from a family of 18 kids. I come from a family of welfare. I know what it is to eat cat food when you're about 7 years old. So I don't want to hear it from all these do-gooders that talk about it but do nothing.